Juan, come on here. You're going to speak. Where's Mario? Where's Tom? Come on, guys. You come down here. Come down here. You guys kind of worked on the bill. You should be right there. Yeah. How many people notice you got a new jacket besides me? Just me, huh? I pay attention. All right, moments ago, House Republicans passed the strongest border security bill this country has ever seen. This bill secures the border from President Biden's record crossings, record carelessness, and record chaos. Securing the border is one of the top priorities, and it is the priorities of the leaders who are behind me. I do want to thank Mario Diaz-Balart, Tom McClintock, Jim Jordan, Mark Green, Mike McCall, Elise Stefani, and Tom Emmer. I want to give a special thanks to Steve Scalise. Not only did he help pass this bill on the floor, but he has been working for 2 years to educate the members, leading Codels to the border and working with our task forces and our committees. And I want to thank every single member of this conference. This is not something easy to do. By passing H.R. 2, House Republicans have shown we're focused on addressing our nation's biggest challenges. By contrast, the White House has 2 years to plan for the end of Title 42. We all knew the deadline, but the White House produced no plan, missed the deadline, and bumbled into another crisis. Even President Biden, who has only been to the border one time in 50 years, says this: there is going to be chaos for a little while. Since the White House keeps missing deadlines, I want you to know how we did it. We identified the problem. Rather than ignoring it, we listened to the American people. And then we took action. Numerous members of our conference for the last 4 years have been traveling to the border, not just to meet with border agents, but meet with the elected officials. It didn't matter what party they were registered. To meet with local ranchers, landowners, businessmen and women. To meet with the people being affected day in and day out. To school board members, where their schools had to be closed because of the chases and the cars coming across. To the families that lost loved ones because of the fentanyl that's coming across. I remember down with Juan Ciscomani with the new mayor, telling a story of his own daughter, calling her and telling her that she can't go outside, another car chase was coming by. This car chase didn't end in the manner we all wish it would. It killed a woman he told us about. She was on her way to her retirement dinner, where she had retiring from work of all those years to spend the time with her grandchildren, to travel the country, ended because the border was not secure. We even had our committees, when we took the majority, not to stay in Washington to gather all your information, but to travel to the border itself. If you're going to write a bill about the border, you ought to learn firsthand. Homeland, Judiciary. We talked to Border Patrol agents, heard the frustration in their voices, and saw the exhaustion in their faces. But the House Democrats, who even belonged to the committee, refused to go. One of the ranking members, Nadler, made fun of us going to it, said it didn't mean anything. I think you ought to look to the family members who've lost their children to fentanyl and tell them that it didn't mean anything. If they had attended, I believe they would have voted with us. You cannot listen to what we had heard and vote against this bill today. The do-nothing Democrats must not continue to repeat this pattern on the debt limit. Tomorrow will be the 100th day since I first sat down with the president on February 1st to identify a problem, to know the deadline would be coming. We all know that the deadline for default is June 1st. Why are we in this situation? Because inflation, Democrats added $6 trillion. They harmed every single family by bringing inflation to our country. And now 3 of the 4 largest bank failures in American history has happened just in a couple months. We watch people bringing home their paycheck. It doesn't go as far. We watch Democrats treat the exact same way. The House passed a plan to avoid the default. We cap spending, we grow the economy, and we responsibly raise the debt limit. And there's only 15 days to go. How has the president handled this? The exact same way he's handled the border. He ignores it and hopes it goes away. But President Biden and Senator Schumer are stuck on no. They have no plan, no proposed savings, and no clue. Apparently, President Biden doesn't want a deal. He wants a default. Mr. President, my message is very simple. Do not miss another deadline like you just missed on Title 42. Our country cannot afford it. The Republicans will always act responsibly and will also always look for solutions. With that, let me bring up our majority leader who's worked so hard to make this day come to fruition, Steve Scalise.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and congratulations to our Speaker. How about this team? Once again, House Republicans came together to solve a major crisis facing our nation, a crisis that was created by President Biden's failures. President Biden walked in on his first day in office with a commitment to open up America's southern border. He took direct action that has opened up our southern border and started a flood that we have never seen before. Over 5 million people have come into our country illegally since Joe Biden took the oath of office. That's more people than the entire population of my home state of Louisiana that have come into this country illegally. And it's getting worse. Today, the day that we passed this important bill to secure America's border, the strongest bill that this Congress has ever passed, at a time when our border's never been less secure. And you had the Secretary of Homeland Security today, Secretary Mayorkas, said the border's not open. Well, Mr. Secretary, if 10,000 people coming across our border illegally is not open, I would hate to see what you think is an open border. This is a crisis that needs to be fixed. The House didn't sit around waiting on the Secretary or the President to do their job, even though they failed. We took action to protect every community in America that is now a border town. The devastation from our open border is affecting every community in America. Today in America, 300 young people will die from drug overdoses related to the fentanyl coming across our open southern border because of President Biden's failure. Tomorrow, another 300 young people will die. When is the president going to finally stand up and do something to stop those deaths? Do those deaths not matter to President Biden? They matter to us. And we took action to do something about it. It's long past time the Senate do something to address this crisis. It's long past time for President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas to do something to address this crisis. If they're going to continue to fail the American people, we're not going to stop working for those families who are struggling under the weight of the devastation of these failed policies. And the man who helped us get the votes to pass this critically important bill for the American people is our whip.